Welcome everyone to episode 17 Aussie Max Zone, and tonight is Wednesday, the 9th of October 2013. One day, shall we say late? One day late this week, but never mind. For those of you who are getting us on the podcast, you probably didn't even know, did you? So anyway, yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. Got heaps of news to get through today. So if you've been living under a rock for the last week, well, then we're going to re-enlighten you of what's happening with Apple news through the week that we think that you should be aware of. And to do that with me is Jason from SA. How you doing, Jason?
Very well, thanks, Glenn. And we finally have a date, October 22nd for new iPads. So it was probably going to be a slow news week again, and
all of a sudden,
lo and behold, we got the Twitterverse exploded yesterday with October 22nd for a iPad media event, and we did get a little bit excited for tonight's show with the Apple Store going down, but it's come back up, and there doesn't seem to be much there. I think you had looked, didn't you, Michael? And we're agreeing there's not much there.
Yeah, I can't see much difference there.
And that chap in the blue shirt is Michael from Sydney, from IT Help for You, in fact, .com.au. Now, you'd be excited there's a new iPad coming out, Michael. There's probably another $6,000 in course fees you've got to do to learn how to fix it.
Yeah, enjoyable.
Yeah, good stuff. So, guys, what's been going on? Let's start with the Apple Store that's gone down. What happened there? What happened? It just went away? Did we get a 404 error, or did we get a page that was down for maintenance, or what happened there?
Just get a page in different languages saying we'll be back soon.
Right, and this was down for what most of the afternoon, as far as I think Jace has been telling me.
It seemed to be a good 3 or 4 hours, and of course that's normally the sign that, well, sometimes it just goes down for maintenance, and as it so happens, this was just another one of those times. But quite often it comes back up and there's new things in the store. So, we were maybe thinking a new Mac Pro, a refresh of the MacBook Pros, but there doesn't seem to be anything new there.
Right. So do you think that, so when they've gone down, it's not just a matter of updating the site with new content, because that shouldn't go down for that long a period if it's just stop publishing this page, start publishing that page. So there might have been something more sinister, do you think? Or you just think it's just updates?
No. It's a regular thing, and maybe it's all part of the theatre or drama of the Apple way of that little almost poster note saying we'll be back soon. Maybe caused much excitement over the years.
Maybe it's like their sort of way of refreshing code. They might just bring the site all the way down and upload the whole thing again. Just in case there's any maliciousness that's snuck in around the place. Maybe that's what they do. But I'll have to talk to their webmaster. See what they got to say from themselves.
Maybe they could speak to Aussie Tech Heads Hosting about some hosting.
Some hosting. Oh, well, I'd be glad to help. We got great plans, Tim. From $6.95 a month. Great plans. I'm sure he'd be interested. Yeah, so Jace, you mentioned just before, iPads 22nd of October. I saw calendars just with an apple in the 22nd. This is obviously their little new fandangle way of putting this one out.
Yeah, well, everyone's saying, it's the iPad media event. So, as we thought with the iPhones, there was going to be an October event, which was traditionally the time for, I guess, iPads now.
Yes.
Traditionally, how long have we had iPads? A couple of years. So, yes, it is a tradition. And potentially also iPods. So,
right.
I'm not sure what's happening there. What have we got left of iPods anymore? I mean, there's still the Shuffle, Nano, the Touch, and even the Classic's still around. So, whether there's going to be any changes there.
Because iPods...
There was a refresh on one, wasn't there? I think, Michael, too. There's a space grey on the... Did the Nano get that or the Touch? It sort of snuck in when the iPhone came in. So I don't know if that's the only refresh they're going to do to the iPods, or there is still a bit of a tweak that they'll do.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that. I haven't caught up with that, to be honest.
I know the as far as I can see, the iPods are, I don't know, I think they're just pretty much a kid's device these days. Would I be wrong in saying that? Like, kids would be the only one that really have them?
I would say that, and for fitness, so maybe the shuffle especially, I think is quite popular for people at the gym or running if you don't want to run along with your phone, and maybe for safety's sake as well, that you drop a weight or something on top of your iPhone, it probably will come out second best.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's for what I see is probably the two key uses now that it's well, really the iPod Touch, so something for kids, really an iPhone without the radio, and in the fitness world, the shuffles and nanos where you just want something smaller, lighter, less expensive to run or get fit with, and I guess there's still that niche where the iPod Classic still exists with the 160 gig drive where people try to say, well, I need to take every song I've got with me everywhere I go. But look, I would suggest these days that would be hard to do unless you've still got your 64-bit stuff downloaded from Napster. I'm thinking how much, what I've got in my iTunes library, and that, that's several hundred gig. It's not going to fit
how long are you going to be listening to the... Actually, that leads me into another question, actually. I was just going to say, why not just have it all up into this iTunes cloud or whatever they've got? The
iTunes Match, it is.
Yeah, the iTunes Match. When you stream that back, can you stream that back at varying bit rates? Or is it a stable, you must have it like, say, 128 or 196? Can you choose what bit rate? Do you know? So
I think Apple give it to you. I think Apple give it to you at what bit rate you would download it from, because when that iTunes Match came out, it was almost a moratorium, I guess, on people that did have maybe music that hadn't been acquired so legally. In my case, I'd gone and ripped hundreds of CDs and put it into my iTunes library. But I hadn't purchased them through iTunes, but I had purchased them.
Yep.
Obviously, if you'd got music from other means that was sitting in your iTunes library, Apple went and matched it and looked to see if they had a copy in the cloud.
Yep.
And if you re-download it again, you obviously get your copy from Apple. So if you had your 64-bit version of, I don't know, what was around when Napster was around, Achy Breaky Heart or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
You get...
I've got 3 versions.
320... Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Is it 320 now, or are Apple using... I think Apple might even use variable bitrate. I'm really a bit out of touch with this stuff now because it's just there. I use it, and it's not like, what songs I download and... the 320k versions, that's that big, and I'm on a dial-up modem, so I'll only get the 128.
So that's where I was sort of we're going with the iTunes Match, and it must carry around every song that you own. Is that I was of the belief that the Match delivers you the best quality possible. So you might have uploaded, or you might have had a 64k pussy in and out quality version, and then when it comes back to you through the Match, it'll come back to you as a ridgy-dig, full, nice quality version. But if you're streaming it, can you select? Okay, well, I don't want to stream it 1,024 bits a second or whatever it is. The high. I don't want 396 bits a second. I'm only streaming. I'm running down the street. 196, 128 will do me, and therefore I could probably save bandwidth. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I listen to...
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. No, it just brings it down. It's 256, isn't it?
I'm just having a look now at some recent stuff I bought from iTunes. And look, the other thing is, I guess, Glenn, to answer your question, it will be down. It will come down at what it would have come down at if you had purchased it from the iTunes store originally. Right. So if you went and bought your CD and did it in Apple lossless or FLAC, or actually you'd have to convert that because iTunes doesn't deal with FLAC, which is a lossless format. If you got it from the cloud, it would actually be a lower quality, or it would be a lossy type format.
But I suppose even so, because I know I can listen to like the tune-in radio, or I listen to the Pandora or whatever, and it's a lower quality. You can't really tell the difference unless I'm not an audiophile. But that I could do that, and the bandwidth that it uses is minimal. So where I was going is, even though your music is in the cloud and has to come back down to you, then if you can do it at a reasonable rate bandwidth wise, well, then it would last you. You wouldn't need to carry 160 gig of songs with you. It'd be just as economical to get them back from the cloud.
Oh, look, I think that's where everything's going these days, isn't it? We're fairly used to just being, or the expectation being that we're always connected and always on.
Yeah. Now, the rumours, just getting back, to the rumours with these iPhone 5. So this is going to be rumoured the iPad rumours. The
iPad 5, yep.
So this is going to be the iPad 5.
That was so last month.
I know, I'm sorry.
Actually, last year, if you go to the iPhone 5.
Well, yeah, true.
You're so 2012, Glenn.
Oh, I know. I'm so yesterday. The new iPad 5 is rumoured to get the refreshed design and improved internals. While the second generation iPad mini is rumoured to include a Retina display. And the latest reliable reports...
It has to have a Retina display. I mean, there's so much expectation around that now. I don't think they can I don't think they can release an iPad mini and it not be Retina display.
Yeah.
And I guess it's been pushed by competitors out in the marketplace that have come and done it. So Apple can't say it's not possible because it's been done. Yeah. And those devices that have that do have reasonable battery life. Not up to iPad standard, but they're not too bad. So, I think that just really has to happen, and that's what I'm hanging out for. I want the Retina, in the iPad Mini. That's going to be the bomb.
Do you reckon it's that good? Do you reckon it's that much better? I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Why is it better? Oh no, it looks better, but does it deliver a better quality? What do you do with it? A movie or something?
Better quality pixels.
Now,
it's the same. It's the same when you went iPad, to iPad Retina. Look, the screen is obviously a little smaller, but going between the full size iPad and the iPad Mini, you can see the difference. I mean, the larger iPad is much nicer, and it's when you've got the Retina display for the fonts.
And apparently, it's also going to get an upgraded 8 megapixel camera as well. So, good stuff.
You'd expect that to be in line with the, what we've just seen in the iPhones.
Yeah. Now, what can you tell me about this new OS X? So that's also being announced, supposedly.
Mavericks, yeah.
Yeah. What did you know
about?
So,
I mean, that's back from WWDC. We've spoken about what's in there, and we're just waiting for it to come out. And I believe the gold master of that is out to those in the developer program. So it's in any day now.
Yeah.
And of course, the Mac Pro that got hinted at, I think nearly 12 months ago when Tim said we'll have something for you people next year for the Pro users. That was the end of 2012. So you would think that is going to be coming in around the same time.
Now, is there any? Do you know, Michael, if there was any? What are the updates in the Maverick to what we've got now? What have we got now? Oh, it's Mountain Lion. So is anything new or exciting to look forward to that has caught your interest?
The syncing with iOS 7 for which doesn't quite work yet with
the line.
With AirDrop?
Line. Yeah, the AirDrops. That got to wait and see if it works properly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what improvements are in the server and whether they're working, because there's still a few things in the server side that don't work properly yet.
Oh, okay.
It will take a lot of setting up that used to be easy and got harder.
Yeah,
instead of easier.
Yeah, so well, hopefully, so you'll be getting. Do you get the Gold Master, Michael? Have you tried that, or you just get it with the rest of us?
I wait for the official release and then get picked on by the customers.
Yes, I suppose, like with most things, Apple, like as soon as Maverick or whatever's is announced, it'll just be a run on downloading it, just bang, 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 and
Yeah.
next day, or probably next hour, you're probably getting phone calls about it.
Yeah,
What's
you do. You
going
get
on?
people saying, "Oh, I've just uploaded it and it hasn't happened." Like they've started at 7 o'clock in the morning uploading, and I haven't put it on the machine yet. And
Yeah.
you get people ring up first thing. It's amazing.
All right. Well, let's move on to past October 22nd or whatever the day it was. Was it October 22nd? Yeah,
October
yeah,
22nd.
Let's move past that. And what can you tell me about? I saw an email. I saw a thing the other day about the iTunes Radio coming to Australia, and about time. So what was happening there?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, About Time's going to be 2014. So there was an announcement that's also came out yesterday, I believe, that iTunes Radio is going to come to other countries. Currently, it's only in the US. But I got a little excited and thought, yep, it might be, in the next month or so. But they're saying early 2014, and that's going to be countries like Australia, Canada, New Zealand. I think maybe the UK as well. So, I guess the good news is it looks like they've done the deal with the record companies, but not until 2014.
So it looks like iTunes Radio is set to start early next year in Australia and New Zealand, where Pandora already operates. Now I've used the Pandora. I don't mind that at all. So there you go. So once you get your iTunes Radio, again, you're not going to really be wanting to carry around your 160 gig iPod. You're going to have every song just about at your fingertips. I'm guessing that it's a subscription model. That's how you...
Well, for those of us who have iTunes Match, it's included, the ad-free version. If you don't have iTunes Match, you can still have it. It's just an ad-supported version.
Nice.
So iTunes Match, I think, is $35 a year at the moment. So
that's nothing.
They might make it more compelling. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't signed up, Glenn, that may be the thing that clinches it for you. That as well as the advantages that we've enjoyed with iTunes Match, it's now got iTunes Radio, and it's just going to be interesting to see then how relevant Pandora and Spotify and that are going to be to those that live in the Apple ecosystem, I guess.
Well, I think
are they seeing that that additional value that those services can, I guess, differentiate themselves enough? Are people going to part with, if you're already parting with your $35 for iTunes Match at the moment, you might be paying some money for Pandora or another service, the JB Hi-Fi app, or there's a fair few of them around at the moment.
Mog. And there's another one, Music. I don't know what JB is, but I know Pandora is about, I think it's about $5 a month. And Spotify, I think, is around about $12 a month. Spotify lets you download the music to your phone so you can listen to it offline. And also the Spotify, you can't listen to it for free on a mobile device. But it looks like the iTunes Radio, whether or not you'd be able to download, probably if it's going to team up with the Match, you would think that there'd be some sort of offline listening capability. So yeah, does anyone know how it's working in the US? Has it even launched in the US yet?
It's launched in the US. It has been spoken about a little on podcasts. There hasn't been a lot spoken about. I mean, it doesn't. I guess it's there. I guess it runs a little bit similar to Pandora, and you can. It has like the stations. You can skip tracks, but you've only got a certain number of skips you can have, I guess.
Yep.
Over a time period, and it, I guess, learns your likes or dislikes if you give it the thumbs up or thumbs down or whatever it is in the iTunes radio world. Not certain on if you can take it offline. Can't recall that one.
Yeah, well, we'll find that out in the fullness of time in May when it comes to us. But you look at something that I think that'll, if you're using Pandora now, I think it's going to go ta-tas because
They're going to struggle.
Yeah, I think they will too because I think the iTunes Radio it's made by Apple. It'll probably integrate nicely with the other apps, Apple apps on your phone. It'll probably be nice and easy to load and play and all this sort of stuff. And I think it'll just be better. It'll be better. But Pandora at the moment, I like the Pandora. It does, except that it stutters a fair bit. I don't know if you've ever used it, but especially on the desktop, it stutters, as in like it'll play 30 seconds of a song, and just all of a sudden decide, no, I don't want that song, and move on to the next one. I don't know why, but
Maybe it doesn't like it.
Maybe it doesn't.
Personal taste.
Yeah,
maybe your machine doesn't like it.
I knew I shouldn't have told it to play Jim Reeves. But have you got any thoughts on iTunes Radio, Michael? Is that the sort of thing that grabs your interest?
Only to know how much bandwidth it's going to use on bigger networks,
right?
Whether we have to stop it or not.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I suppose
if you think you've got a big company that's half the staff are listening to different radio stations, and then try and get stuff from the server, they do fight.
Yes. Well, I suppose that's probably a good point. You probably have to block it somehow, I'd imagine, and I'm sure you can. I imagine.
Yeah, just do it in the firewall, but
that's quite
a lot of people.
That's quite common in large
organisations,
in large companies. So we imagine, as Michael's saying, you've got thousands of employees, as well as network contention, I guess, within the network. You imagine what that's doing to your bandwidth, where you've got hundreds of users pulling 64, 128k streams.
That's a good point to think about. I suppose anyone in a company or in a business now that has BYOD devices or whatever out there in the workplace, maybe you want to think about some sort of solution. And if you don't know of a solution and you think you're going to get hit by it, give Michael a call. He could probably come and do it for you. No.
It is challenging.
Yeah. Yes.
Just Googling away here, it doesn't look like iTunes Radio has an offline mode at the moment.
Right. All right. Okay. What else have we got? Let's move on to what's next. The pick of the week. Whose pick of the week who's picked this one?
I came across this one. So it's the iKettle. So the iKettle brings high tech to tea for a mere $160.
Nice.
So as the name implies, it's a kettle that can speak to your, not only iPhone, it has an iOS and Android app. So whatever persuasion you are, over Wi-Fi, you can control your kettle.
Wow.
So you can tell it to turn on. You can set a time for it to boil. So maybe it's there, when you wake up, you can make a cup of tea. You can tell it to just keep warm. You can select the right temperature. So for you green tea drinkers, we don't want it boiled. We only want it to 80 degrees. And it has a stainless steel design and filtered spout, as you would expect.
Oh,
so
that is a good pick. Are you getting one, Jace?
I don't know. We might see how that one goes. I think there was a proliferation of those a few years ago with people bringing out something or other devices. So there was one for the barbecues where you could have an app to measure the temperature of your meat, and there was a sender device that you put with your Weber or barbecue that would let you monitor from maybe more comfortable surroundings while the meat cooks.
I wonder if it's got a water level indicator as well. So if someone takes the last cup and then you're not aware of it, it'll beep your phone. You go, hey, I'm out of water. But, is that something we're going to see on your desk, Michael? An iKettle?
Eventually, I think everyone will have one, won't they?
Oh, you never know. Probably. We're going to have
I have had a roast cooked with the Bluetooth temperature probe and that was perfect.
Right.
Noticeably good.
Yeah, okay. So the Bluetooth went into the oven.
Yeah. The lead goes into the meat.
Yep.
And for the roast pork had to be cooked to a certain temperature, and when it reaches that temperature, it's perfect. So you just go and get it.
Oh, Master Chef or what? Hey?
And you just keep drinking until it gets the temperature. You don't have to do any work.
Well, they should bring one out with a beer fridge, an beer fridge. So you can tell when. So you go, I'm not having a drink until it gets down to -4. I won't touch it. And yeah, just that'd be cool. All right, so that's that's Jason's pick of the week. Now, I just want to just go back to the iTunes radio for a sec, because we've got a comment in the lounge about hope they have Aussie radio stations. So I just wanted to address that because that might be that might not be actually correct, because I think what happens there when you talk about radio stations, they're your own personal radio stations. So it's not like Triple M or Triple W's or whatever.
We're giving away icy cold cans of Coke.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's not. You make your own radio station up with the songs that you like. So you provide seeds for your music. So say you provide, I don't know, I'm going to show me age
or something like that.
well, if you want to, yes. So look, I've done a 70s, 80s radio station on Pandora. So I've seeded, Susie Quattro, Creedence Clearwater, Huey Lewis, and just Tina Turner, whatever from that genre, whatever thing I like, and then it will provide the next song based on what you've seeded or what you have previously thumbed up. So every song that comes on...
It's a combination, and I think also it's like iTunes Genius and that. I think from what other people listen to, and I guess who've got similar selections, it learns from them as well to say, okay, if you've seeded it that way, or you're sort of indicating similar preferences to this other person, we might, introduce or maybe something else, that they had suggested that you hadn't. So
yeah,
it's meant to be intelligent, I guess.
So you can,
so just on Huey Lewis for the moment, he'd be doing pretty well at the moment with all the Camry ads, wouldn't he? Doesn't that? It's on bloody nearly every ad break, I reckon, that Camry ad.
Yeah. Are you still watching live TV?
I do normally. I'll watch like the news and maybe the project on Channel 10.
Oh yes,
and then settle down to some pre-recorded stuff.
Yeah. I know that there's a lot of the old songs are getting around on ads and stuff, and he's one of them. But so it's not like tune-in radio, Milo in the lounge. No, it's your own based on your own likes. Yeah,
but there are lots of radio stations out there that have got their own feeds, and WSM, for example, in Sydney, has been plugging iHeartRadio, which is just iHeart.com.
Oh,
Again, you can make your own sort of station and listen to what you want to listen to. The artists that you like and the crap that you don't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, so Milo, I think if you haven't had a look at it, go and have a look at Pandora, and get your fingers stuck into Pandora. You'd probably like it.
Pandora would be pretty close to what iTunes Radio is going to be if you wanted to have a little bit of a play or a taste of things to come.
Yes.
It's on that radio genre, as the name would imply, as opposed to a Spotify, which is more around playing complete albums. That one is a little different, and I could see that one, potentially surviving because it does offer something different. But I think Pandora might be in a little bit of trouble.
Now let's move on to the viewer question of the week. Now, this viewer question is brought to you by the ithelpforyou.com.au. ithelp, number 4, letter u.com.au, authorised service provider. And that's Michael down there at Penrith. And look, you don't even have to live in Penrith. You got an device that's broken, ship it down. Fixes it, ships it back. Too easy. Too easy. Now, all you have to do, if you wanted to win and this is also provided by ithelpforyou.com.au, if you want to win this $20 gift card for iTunes, all you got to do is leave a review on the Aussie Mac Zone iTunes podcast. You know how to do reviews on podcasts. Well, just leave one, and we'll pick the best one. Now, look, if you've done one over the last 3 weeks, you would have got a card. So what are you waiting for? Don't anyone want a card? So what we've got to do is we're forced to go. Then we'll go back. If there's no reviews, we'll go back and give it to a questioner. How does that sound? A questioner or questionee? Questioner. That'll do. I think we've got a question this week, haven't we, Jace? What have we got this week?
Indeed, we do. So to paraphrase the question, because I haven't got it up in front of me at the moment, the listener, while Glenn can look up his name and details, the listener has an iPhone.
Yep.
Currently, they back that up to iTunes on their PC. So I don't know if they mean PC as in Windows or PC in their desktop Mac. But anyway, they want to now move across to doing it on their laptop. So they wanted to know, are they going to lose anything, or are there going to be any issues in suddenly changing from one machine to another? I guess in simple terms, my answer is going to be no. If you've already, not any more than what you would have already struggled with migrating your iTunes from one machine to another. And if you've managed to do that, you've probably got over the hurdle. To me, it would be with moving your iTunes library rather than where you're backing up to. You can simply plug your iPhone in on your laptop rather than your desktop. It will recognize the device, and again, you can back up. If you've got your passcode enabled as you should, you can save your password so you can have a encrypted backup there. Sorry, if you have an encrypted backup instead of password, it will save all of your passwords, etc. That are on your phone. So that's a better way to be doing it. So don't really see any downside there. Once you've done your first backup on your desktop, I mean, that's it. You've got you've got a backup.
That's right.
Of what's there. There was a part 2 to the question as well, surrounding getting memos or voice recordings off the iPhone. What you'll find is when you've got it plugged into the machine and bring up iTunes, under music, you'll have a selection there for, I think it's called voice memos. There'll be a little a tick box to include that for syncing.
Yep.
And they will copy back up into iTunes, and you'll see them then on the little left-hand side menu. Those voice memos will come across. Right. The other way you can get them off your phone is they will show up to be able to be emailed or sent as a message. So that's another way.
Oh yeah.
You can get those off your phone.
Don't
know, Michael, have you got any?
Yeah. Sorry.
Anything else to add to that?
That covered it completely. Yeah. Just move that library. Once you get that library across, you just keep working basically.
So when you mention library, like, what do you mean? Because like I might have mine set up differently. I've just got iTunes pointing to a directory where all my music is. Is that how you do it? Like, is that how you do it?
iTunes has got an XML file, which is like the database, which looks after knowing the metadata about your album art and about the songs. Right. It knows where they are, as well as the actual files themselves, which will be somewhere. If you just go dragging stuff about, iTunes gets awfully upset and throws its hands up in the air.
That's a tanny.
And so that's the normal thing that's, I think, been questions for many a year when you run out of space on your primary machine and want to put on an external drive, etc. There's lots of things on the internet around moving your files elsewhere, having iTunes know to how to look at it.
Right. Because I've got my
I've,
setup.
I've done that a few times. I mean, there's various ways you can do it. Worst case is, realistically, if you've got music files, you can point iTunes to them on your new machine and say, hey, see all this stuff here, import it and remanage it again for me, and it will sit there and chunk through it and build a new database and fix it all. So unless you do something very, very wrong, which basically involves deleting the actual files themselves, most positions are recoverable from. The only thing that you would lose if you essentially lost the database and didn't move that would be if you've done ratings, and you would lose those. I don't do that, so I don't care.
What about play counts and stuff like that?
All of that type of stuff, which is I guess unique to your library. So if you care about that, you'll need to preserve the actual database itself.
Yeah.
If you don't so much, you can. You've probably got more options available as to moving that stuff around.
Well, I've got mine because I've got a few songs probably just like you, and I haven't done the iTunes match, mainly because of Pandora, and the Spotify pretty much. There's no need to continue buying music these days. But anyway, with the songs that I've got mine. They're on a separate machine, like a server. / you might have a NAS, but they're on a different machine, which is just a data store pretty much. And then I've just pointed my iTunes to that, and then every time I build a computer, I just point iTunes to that, and I'm not worried about the play counts or reviews or anything like that. It seems
that's like you create library. So if you start iTunes on a Mac, for example, with the Option key down, it says pick a library or create a library.
Oh.
So, for example, on my machine, a MacBook Air, I don't have all my music and videos and shows on the MacBook Air. I have them on another hard drive, which, again, it's just pointing to that. I just choose the library that's on another hard drive.
Oh, right. Oh, that's all right. That's pretty cool then.
You can do that on a network share as well.
Yeah, so you've got it.
So you can have home sharing as well. So I've got a Mac Mini with external storage that runs all the time, and it essentially... its job in this world is to run the iTunes library, because as well as for music, it's what the Apple TVs go back to get movies and TV shows. So with home sharing turned on, that makes it all good. And so with my iMac, for example, I can load iTunes on here, and using home sharing, I can play content off the Mac Mini library, if you like. It's
so
just in the world of Apple goodness, it just it all works. It all works together.
Yeah. So do you know, Michael, with your little trick there, does that work? I guess it would work on a PC version. I'd have to Google that. Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I'm even assuming it's the same key, the Alt key.
Yeah. Okay.
On the PC as you launch iTunes.
Yes. Okay. So like a simultaneous hit.
Yeah, hold the key down, double click iTunes, and it should give you the choice to choose a library or create a library. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good little tip. I love that tip. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Who was that question from? Jason from down south somewhere, in Sydney somewhere. Good on you, Jace. Another Jace. Good on you.
No wonder you couldn't remember his name.
No, that's right. So, Jace,
as long as it wasn't Warlock, he won't be getting into about it.
All right. So, all right, good stuff. So there you go. So, Jace, you can, if you send us your details, you can get one of these $20 gift vouchers. Why not? And that's thanks to Michael. Thank you, Michael. And IT Help, number 4 letter U, ithelpforyou.com.au, authorised service provider for Apple. Oh, and does it pretty smartly too. I do say so myself. All right. Where are we going now? I think we're just about finished. You got anything else, Jace?
No, I think that's all Apple news that's out and about at the moment.
Yeah, all right. Michael, any final thoughts or things to bring up?
There is one little story about the Piper Group have done a survey, and it found that more than half of teens own an iPhone and iPad. So, and everyone says they're not as popular, and
Well,
And there was also a surge about the number of iOS people searching the web again compared to Android people.
okay.
So it's,
Yeah, so the numbers are all rubbery. Depends who you want to
Yeah.
listen to. I know a guy, he probably doesn't listen to this particular show, but he sent me an email today. And a few months ago, he asked me what he should buy. And I just told him an iPad. But he went out and he bought a Nexus. And he sent me an email today and just said how unhappy he was with the Nexus, and he said it was just, he wasn't happy with it at all. He thought the screen was too small and blah blah blah, and just wasn't happy. So he's waiting till October 22nd to see what Apple's producing, and he's going to go get an iPad. And I said to him, yes.
iPad Mini Retina, there you go. That's all.
But that's right. And I just said to him, yeah, look, I might be PC at home, but for my mobile devices, yeah, for sure. It's just, for reliability and stuff, you can't go past it. I like my iPhone. I've never missed a beat after I ditched that Android thing I had 2 years ago. I've never missed a beat. Never. It's great. The iPad, love it. It's great.
and they talk to the Windows world fine.
Don't go too bad. That's right. Yeah, there was there was a good app actually. I might bring it up next week, and I'll tell you what it is next week. But even because the kids have got Android devices, I've got the iPad and the iPhone, and you know how hard is it? Like if you want to view photos off your network on a mobile device, it is very, very hard. I couldn't unless you upload them into the cloud or you put them onto the device. It seems to be some why it's so elusive. I don't know. I must be looking in the wrong places. But anyway, I found an app, and you put a little thing on your machine, and then you can hook up your iPhone and you can browse your network photos. And that's exactly what I want to do. Because I've got all these photos, and like, why have them all sitting on the server when no one can look at them? I want the kids to be able to look at them and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So finally, I'll let you know what that app is next week, because I haven't actually installed the bit on the computer yet. But I'll let you know.
That can be your pick of the week.
Actually, it was part of the if you go to the Facebook page every now and then, and I try to do it most days if there's anything exciting, but every day most days there'll be an iOS free app for that day, and it was one of them. And it was one of those apps. I think it was last week or maybe earlier this week, probably late last week. I think it was Air Photo or something like that. But I'll do it properly next week and let you know how it all goes. But if you want a free app that you normally pay for, well then most days, I won't say each day because it's most days now, there'll be on the facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads. I'll put up a free for that day only. So you got to check it every day, because if you look at no good looking at my post from yesterday and going, oh geez, that's a good app, I'll get it. Well, because it's not free anymore. You've got to go and pay for it now, because it's yesterday. So it's only that day. All right, good stuff. Okay, so that's it, I think. Yeah, good stuff. All right, so if you want to catch up with us, there's show notes at aussiemaxzone.com.au. There you can email us at wherever we are. Glenn, Jason at aussiemaxzone.com.au, and Michael at ithelpforyou.com.au. And that's about all, I think. Good stuff. I'm out. You boys are out, aren't you? Nothing else?
It is. Yep. Good stuff, guys. Yep. We'll see everyone next week.
Cool.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right. Well, until we see you guys next week, or listen to us or whatever, we hope you have a good week, and you will hear us then. Okay.